This is the first podcast for Exercise Science 511, Class 3, Exercises, Medicine, and Managing Clients with Multiple Chronic Conditions. You'll need to review all the podcasts for each lecture, given that they are about 5 minutes each, just to control the size of the file and attention span. And you can see this on the screen. And this is the AMA, in case you don't realize, is the American Medical Association. And as exercise science majors, I am sure you know what this is. And really, exercise is a wonder drug, and it's amazing how much difference it could make in the health of our nation if more and more people just exercise. I know it seems obvious, but to many people, it's not. Just to review again some of the founding fathers of exercise, it goes all the way back to ancient Greece. Hippocrates, Galen, Hieronymus, they advocated taking care of the body as well as the mind. And I'm sure you're familiar with Hippocrates, the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm. So by having people be inactive, we are actually harming them. So we definitely want to do no harm. Modern exercise physiologist Joseph B. Wolfe, he is one of the earliest exercise physiologists. In fact, one of the historical lectures at ACSM annual meeting is named after him, where somebody usually presents historical research in exercise science. Probably the most common in our field, Ralph Paffenbarger from the Harvard Fatigue Lab in Boston. He was the one who really came up with the idea that people who were more active or less sick, or people who had active jobs, did better than people who were sedentary. Many of you are aware of Kenneth Cooper's work through the Cooper Institute in Dallas. Dr. Steve Blair, I know you've heard of him from Dr. K's classes. He has done a lot in his work there, and they have tons of data about the role of exercise and fitness and physical activity in health. The Surgeon General was sort of a late player to public health. In 1996, we'll maybe look at this paper, the role of the Surgeon General's guidelines for physical activity. But the Surgeon General typically only played a role in chronic disease, and when they started getting into tobacco prevention in the 80s, and now they have since moved on to physical inactivity and other chronic diseases. We're going to go through these in class, but you need to be familiar with the terms. What is the difference between physical activity, exercise, and then what are the components of physical fitness? What do we get as a result of being active? So we're going to discuss this in class. Epidemiology research, the study of the determinants and distribution of disease. As we mentioned with the founding fathers of public health, epidemos among people, a lot of epidemiology research has to do with infectious diseases, and to some extent it still does. So when we have a flu outbreak, we want to know where it is and what types of flu is coming out. So that's what people in epidemiology do. But a lot of people in epidemiology do things like track physical activity on a nationwide basis, track body mass index on a nationwide basis, track incidence of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes on a nationwide basis, and also looking at special populations. If you are really interested in something that is epidemiology based, an hour away, University of South Carolina School of Public Health, they are probably the #1 program in the nation for if you are interested in epidemiology and public health and health promotion. Gotta really be good with stats, research methods, and those type of classes in order to be most successful in this field. So you really gotta like data, you gotta like reading research, you have to have good computer skills, and you have to really understand and know your research methods pretty well. 90 million Americans, so that is almost 1/3 of the population, have at least one chronic disease. So 75% of healthcare costs are dependent on it. We want to keep people independent. So that's a major goal as we have aging populations. We want to keep people who are living longer, living better. We want to help people with depression and mood disorders. So quality of life is really important as we have special populations and aging populations, and exercise is going to play a big role in that. The number one killer of U.S. adults is still heart disease. Now, we'll talk a lot about this throughout the course of the semester, and there are some experts who believe that cancer is probably going to overtake heart disease in the next, say, 10 to 20 years as the number one killer.